Hello everyone, this is my project on travel and hotel website. Basically, you can obviously book hotels and flights, I would say. The main part of the project is that. And obviously, this is the landing page where these data are mostly hard coded. This is the, I would say, slider page where you can see different destinations and all. And this is basically wholly responsive, like as you can see it here. Similarly, I would say most of them are on Swapper, not Swapper. Yes, Swapper, they have component. Is when you scroll, it will come. And this is from Carizol, where obviously this is a different component. Apart from that, there is also this, I would say, newsletter page where actually you can put your newsletter. Let's say if I click this and say, obviously, it would say already set has been subscribed to the newsletter. And let me show you the result from here. This is this kind of email you would get. Like obviously this is not recurring email, but just say one time. But I thought why not? And this is finally the footer page. So like let's start from the hotel part where let's say I want to go to Goa. The bounce is there for 700 milliseconds so that it won't just call the API. Because obviously it has limits and all. And check-in date is mandatory, where let's say I click 31st, and checkout is non-mandatory. I can do it for 5 days, 10 days, or if I don't want, I can just leave it as it is. Other stuffs are also non-mandatory. Number of guests is mandatory, so by default it's one. And distance from city center is, I would say, not mandatory, but by default I have given it 5 kilometer. You can check what you want. Depending on that, will show the hotel results. Apart from that, amenities is also there where you can select like I want swimming pool in my hotels, spas, fitness centers, and all. But let us leave it as it is, and you can check out different hotel star. Like let's say I want a 5-star hotel and all, then you can select it from it. Now, obviously, you might be thinking where I am getting the APIs. So for searching the hotels and flights, both are from Amendos. This is the self-service API. Like you can go and check out the documentation where for flights they have this different kinds of API, and for similarly for hotels and other stuff they have that. Now, obviously, I took three APIs from there. For flight, common API is from Get City Name. Like when I search any city, like let's say I type New York, I did post request from Get City from them. They're basically this. Go add again one more thing. These are all test API, so there could be dummy data for if you want like real time data, you have to apply for production level APIs. But at least for personal project, I think it's enough. And for hotels, there are two basically. I would not two basically three main APIs. One would get you for city. So this one is basically for if you want to search hotels for a particular city, which we would be doing here. Let's say if I click search and wait a little bit. Sorry about the delay, but it would happen because obviously the latency is not there. So basically, the first API is basically give you a list of hotels for the certain place. Like if I click New York with uh, a city center distance of 5 kilometers, this would be the radius of all the hotels. Now, obviously, not all the hotels are which are here are real. Like if you just see here, this is obviously you can tell from the name that it's a dummy data, but the main part is that you can't differentiate between the dummy data and the real data because they mix it up. And there's no real way to, I would say, differentiate between them. Obviously, you can see and search and then find out, but apart from that, there is no real way. Let me show you here from like it is here, this. So there's no real way to actually differentiate between the real and the. So what I have done is if I click here show details, it will just show an error that something went wrong and obviously try again. So you have to like do trial and search which one is correct and which one is not. Now I know this one is a real. So if I just go here the second API pops up like for a particular hotel, it would just give me different. like I would say list of all the amenities that it presents, obviously based on the previous one. So this is the hotel request. Basically the brief overview. If I show you here, this is basically the brief overview of the hotel, like what are this, what I would get basically. And when I click see more, I would get the second call from the second API, which is this particular hotels. Basically, what it does is it gives us the detailed list of the offers it has. It might be a different offers, or it could have, let's say, three or four different offers. You can choose from that. But apart, for currently, there is only one offer right now. So as you can see, this is the tax breakdown and all, and what would be the total cost. And finally, if you click book now, you will be redirected to the payment page. Now I have done the payment with Reserve Pay, and currently it's on test data, not test data, I would say test production level, not production, basically on test. Razor Pay has two different options. One is for production, one is for test. And for obviously test, there is no material money involved. But still, I have given the skip payment option. Basically, it will write the data into a database that you have booked the hotel and just redirect you to the booking page. And if you want to pay now, if I click here, obviously login first. Okay, let me show you the login one too. This is basically the login page. And if you don't have an account, you can go here, send an OTP to an actual email. Now, why actual email? I just wanted to implement the OTP function. And if let's say I come here and select like registering for website, it would be just OTP has been registered for this random 6-digit number and which is valid for 10 minutes, basically giving you number of seconds to actually send different data. So let me log in. Let me log on. And now if I, let's say, enter pay now, this is the gateway of Razorpay. And you can just differently show what kind of payment you want. You can use UPI, you can use card, EMI. And if I go to, let's say, a Razor Pay dummy card number, you can get the test card number from here. Let's say MasterCard is this. Right over here, and let's say card. This is MasterCard month, and you can see here the random CVV and any future date. Let's say month would be one, and it would be let's say 2030, and CVV would be 123. If I click continue, maybe later, okay, I can just click yes access and will give us the payment. And the payment is done, and it would then redirect it to your booking page. Now, what's the booking page? This is basically a booking page. It will redirect it now. So basically, this is our personal booking page where you can see a graph between number of booking data versus flights. Like I have done 7 flight bookings and I have done 2 hotel bookings as of now. So basically, this is like differentiate between the number of bookings done in the website hotels versus, I would say, flights. Just I wanted to show a graph, that's why I did. And below you can see number of hotels you have booked. This is obviously the first and second. Another thing, the photos which are dynamically rendered are from Unsplash API. Like you can go here and let's say apply for production is different, but you can just go here and say for per hour there is 50 requests there. Obviously, I have done most of the like exceeded the limit, so it won't appear. But apart from that, you can get their API to get the image dynamic. So yeah, this is basically the hotel part. And if you want to check out the flight, you can get flight. And this are number of flights I have booked. I will show you the flight in a bit, but just showing you at least for now that this is the Air India and like what are the flights. So let's go to the flight list. Like if I go here, let's say I want to go from Delhi to let's say London. Let's say Gatwick. And obviously departure date is mandatory. Apart from that, you can select number of travelers and what kind of plane you want, let's say business. If I click search and wait for it to redirect, and these are basically all the business class planes which have been basically have the flight details from London to Gatwick. So as you can see from Delhi Terminal 3, you can go to London. Obviously, some have terminals, some doesn't. So depending on what kind of airport it's that, or basically the landing page. So it's one stop. Obviously, there is a one stop. I didn't give the details of the stop, but there is. So obviously, in finance coding is there. 20 details are given. Similarly, it was there for hotels also. I forgot to show you, but it's there. Now, if I go to the book now page, similarly, the confirmation payment by pay flight details comes. Then if I click the skip button, it's basically skip the payment and it will redirect you to the booking page. And here you can see by default it's hotel. And if I go to the flight, this is the latest flight. Obviously, I should have done it in reverse. So there's that. Like the latest one should be up. So need to change that. But apart from that, this is all the details of the flight. And obviously, this is posted. You can go and check out my deployed website, travel. I click here. I have hosted it via Docker, but obviously it takes some time because it's a free hosting site from Render and Vercel. So the backend takes some time, but you can check it out if you open. So this was the whole project. Hope you like.